Bring it a blazing.
So great to see you.
It's great to see you too.
Yeah, thanks for joining me on a rainy day in Charleston. We didn't have too many of these in the summer, did we?
We didn't, so we probably need a little bit of this. But
Absolutely.
Our friends to the south aren't enjoying it as much in hurricane season.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I really appreciate you joining me for this edition of Discover UC, brought to us by our friends at Astorg Auto. So tell everybody kind of who you are and kind of what you do with the American Red Cross.
Well, my name's Erica Manny, and I am the Regional Chief Executive for the American Red Cross in what is known as the Central Appalachia region. It covers our area right here and all of West Virginia, and some surrounding counties in Kentucky, Ohio, Virginia, and Maryland.
Wow. Before we dive a little bit further into the Red Cross, let's learn a little bit more about you. So you have worked in state government and multiple occasions working for Governor Wise and Governor Manchin and Governor Tomlin. You also worked with the Department of Revenue and then spent some time with one of our large, prestigious regional law firms working in employment law, labor law, government law. So what was the kind of motivation to kind of leave those areas of practice and to get into the nonprofit space and take advantage and become involved with the American Red Cross?
Sure. You know, as a lawyer and in government, I was really lucky to be exposed to, just so much service. And when I was working for Governor Wise, it was a time in the early 2000s where we just had flood after flood, and I would, write the executive orders, and we would make sure that we put things in place so that we could help people, before and after those just terrifying, in many instances, events, right? And people lose so much, and you want to help them build back. And when I was in Governor Tomlin's office, we had what a lot of West Virginians, will remember, the derecho. And, those strong straight line winds that went through the entire state, it knocked out power and a lot of infrastructure around the whole state. So everybody came together, and in the governor's office, we were, working immediately after impact. And the first organization that I saw jumping in and making sure that people had somewhere to go and that they were taken care of, even if they couldn't be in their homes, was the American Red Cross.
Excuse me, at that point, had you had any personal interaction with the Red Cross as a volunteer or a blood donor or anything like that?
So over the years, I had, donated blood before. I, did not have any need to have the services of the Red Cross, but my initial inclination, actually, after this experience was, I want to help at the Red Cross. I'd like to get on that board of directors, kind of like you, Marty. And so, I wanted to spend more time volunteering at the Red Cross, and that's how all this started.
Interesting. Well, that's terrific, and I know the Red Cross is very fortunate to have somebody not only as passionate as you, but has as much experience working with both the kind of government side and the private sector side, because all of those different groups, their understanding what the Red Cross does and ability to partner with the Red Cross is what kind of makes all the efforts so successful. So, what are the most rewarding parts of your job overseeing the Central Appalachian region?
So, one of the most rewarding things that we see is people helping people. And I highlight that because not only, are we seeing people sometimes in their most difficult situations, right? Following a home fire, they've just lost everything. They don't know where to, go because even their credit cards and their money, have all burned up. What are you going to do? Well, the Red Cross is there. And the other piece of that is, the Red Cross is there because volunteers are the ones who are coming out to get trained and, respond when something occurs.
So, I mean, that's interesting. When I go to a blood drive, or we have one hosted on campus, or there's a fire in the community, and the Red Cross has this kind of immediate presence, or all the other different things that you've mentioned. When I see somebody with wearing red and kind of identified as affiliated with the Red Cross and there to help, how many of those are like your full-time employees versus how many of those are volunteers and trained volunteers for the Red Cross?
So 90+% of what the Red Cross does, everything from work inside the office and our operations to delivering the services, is done by volunteers versus staff.
Incredible.
Yeah. So, that is true across the country, and it is true right here in our region. We only have, in the tens, right? 30 some paid staff members on the team. And the rest of the hundreds are volunteers.
So you talked about some of the things that are most rewarding about your position. What are some of the biggest challenges that you and your team have now with the Red Cross?
So I would tell you that, in our region and everywhere across the country, fundraising, right? A lot of people don't realize that the American Red Cross, while we are congressionally chartered and we have a lot of responsibilities in relation to some things that might seem very government activity, we actually are fully funded by the generosity of the American people.
So tell us, what's something that most people don't know and would be surprised to know about the American Red Cross?
Well, I think most people don't realize that the most common disaster across the country is home fires. They see, like I mentioned, the Red Cross responding to these big events, wildfires and hurricanes and mass scale tornadoes. But they don't realize that the most common disaster is a home fire. I think one of the things that people would be surprised to find out is they could come out and volunteer with us for one day, if they wanted to install free smoke alarms in homes. And people call us all year round to make their home safer from home fire and ask us to come out and talk to them about how to prevent and or respond to a fire that may happen in their home.
Well, thank you for sharing that. That is very informative. So the University of Charleston, we're very proud to partner with the American Red Cross on blood drives and volunteer support. And we just appreciate the opportunity to be a small part of how you and your team and cast of hundreds of volunteers fulfill your mission every day.
We are grateful that you all are a part of that. Thank you for being a board leader for us and really expanding the number of people who can be involved in this great mission. There have been multiple times over the last several years that our largest part of our workforce for Sound the Alarm came from University of Charleston and your students. So that has been really fun. And what you all have done here at University of Charleston with the blood battle between University of Charleston and West Virginia State University has really been outstanding for bringing attention to the need for blood donation. And we've, exceeded 1,000 units at this point of blood from your initiative there. Thank you for making it happen.
Absolutely. Anytime that we can do something good for the community and have an opportunity to compete with our friends at West Virginia State, we're all over it. So it's been a lot of fun, and we have another one coming up here this fall. So we'll do our best to see if we can grab that trophy back.
Well, that's what it's all about, is, making sure that people get involved in the mission, and we want to make it, fun and rewarding for those who come out to volunteer or give of themselves.
Absolutely. Well, Erica, thanks so much for spending a little bit of time with me today on this edition of Discover UC. And on behalf of not only the university, but all of us here in the Charleston and West Virginia area, we appreciate everything that you do, your staff does, and all your volunteers do to help kind of keep us safe and kind of be there when we need you.
It's an honor to do it and an honor to be here with you today. Thanks again.
All right. Thanks, Erica.